To the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals, please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first application tonight is application 23035 of Emmett Hightower, property located in Amityville. Name and address for the record, please.
It's Michael Arado, 245 Route 109, Suite D, West Babylon.
And you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated April 6, 2023, Environmental Control memo dated April 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in a significant impact. A survey by Jason Lettingham dated April 8, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, we have 4 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
So we're here to ask for relief for an outside entrance to remain with the current side yard setback of 7.7 feet instead of the required 12 feet. As you can see from the photos, this outside entrance was built, quite a long time ago. It wasn't done by the prior owner, nor was it done by the current existing owner. It's not really infringing on anybody's property. He is going to make the proper corrections to it if it does get approved today, which is the handrail and the light that's required. I know there was questions regarding the basement itself as to it remaining unfinished. I was actually at the property today, and I have recent photos of the basement. The basement is still unfinished. If it is finished, it actually wouldn't meet code anyway. There are some low points in that basement, so it's below 6'8" at some areas. And then also under the supporting beams, it goes below 6'4", so even if he was to finish it, he would have to go for a state variance, and the current owner's not looking to do any of that. So it's strictly going to be for storage and laundry use only. Like I said, I have current pictures of the basement.
Yeah, you'd like to submit those?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Parodi.
How you doing? How's everything going?
Good, good. How about yourself?
So you kind of answered my question as far as the reasons for your outside cellar entrance, just pretty much for laundry and storage.
That's it, yeah. And you could see from the basement staircase that comes down, it's kind of a little narrow and there's a low point there. So to bring storage in and out, it's actually easier to use the outside entrance. And when the investor actually bought this property, that's how he got all the laundry and everything into the house, was from the outside entrance, because he couldn't get it in through the house itself.
So you don't have any future plans to make it into a living space?
No, the current owner doesn't have any plans to do that.
Okay, so then if we were to approve this application, do you agree that there will be a condition for the basement to remain unfinished per plans?
Yeah, that's exactly how it sits now. There's rough framing there, so he would leave that all as is.
As is?
Yep.
Okay, I don't have any more further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I just need to do a little housekeeping. The legal advertised it as diminished east side yard from 12 to 7-7. It should be amended to 7.7.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 23-035 with an approved condition for a basement remain unfinished per plans,
Second.
as amended.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next application is application 22-225 of Diego Obando and Luis Adriana Lopez, property located in North Babylon.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Needs your name and address for the record.
Adriana Lopez, 531 Thorn Street in North Babylon, New York, 11703.
Okay. And you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated April 6, 2023, Environmental Control memo dated April 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin, dated, last dated September 4th, last dated February 22nd, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map, and,
Mr. Chairman, we have 5 photographs.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. We purchased the house approximately 10 years ago. When we purchased the house came with a porch in the back. We were unaware that the porch was never actually legalized. The prior owner started the process, got a permit with the town, but they failed to complete the process and did not get a CO. Last year, we went ahead and we contracted with a pool company to do an underground pool, and that's when the town advised us that the porch was not up to code, and we had to get a variance in order to be able to keep the pre-existing structure on the property. I believe it's maybe 2 feet too close to the fence, and that's what one of the variances is for. The other one that just came about was the fact that the pool company failed to properly measure the property line to where they actually dig the hole and install the pool. They knew, and the contract says, that it was supposed to be 6 feet from the property line, and I believe what they did is that they measured from the fence. I guess the fence, which is my neighbor's, is not lined up with our line, and now we are, I think it's 1 foot 1 inch too close to the fence, and we are also respectfully asking for that variance to be approved. I mean, we spent a lot of money getting that pool done last year, and it will be, I don't think there is any way that we could move the pool. It's underground. So we will be also respectfully asking for that variance to be approved.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Good evening. So what brings you here tonight? How did this come about? How did this come up?
When we got the pool company, we saw the permit as appropriate and per
Okay,
code,
all
and then
right,
we were
okay.
told that the porch was not up to code. So then eventually, when we had everything completed,
Everything went
we had to
backwards.
get the porch either, removed, which we don't want to. We want to keep the pre-existing structure or legalize it. So here we
Okay,
are.
the sunroom, is it heated? Does it have any heat in there? Okay, you agree not to heat the sunroom?
Yeah, no, it has no heat.
Okay. And around the pool, do we have any finishes, any tiles, any kind of,
We only have a coping.
okay, you need to be aware that if you put anything else around it, you're going to need additional variances, relief,
Understood.
okay? Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 22-225 with the condition that the sunroom not be heated.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we be excused, or do we have to? Thank you.
No, you're good. Go.
Next application is application 23031 of Sunny Corlin, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Ryan Fisher, 80 Sherwood Avenue, Farmingdale, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated April 6, 2023, environmental control memo dated April 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impacts. A survey by Brian Fisher dated December 16, 2022. A second survey by Elizabeth McQuilkin.
That was a plot plan. I did the plot plan, and
One's the plot,
Lisa
okay.
did the survey. yes.
Gotcha, okay. And tax map acting as an area map, and,
Chairman, we have 4 photographs.
okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Well, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Mr. Corlin and his family are just simply growing, and he needs more space in the house. By adding this one bedroom, it would be a great help to his already 3 small bedrooms out of there now. The existing house was built in 1954, and it already had a 5.9-foot side yard, which included the carport. Then in 1964, the carport was converted into a garage. And according to the building department, that didn't require any Board of Appeals. It was just converted. And I have a drawing that I had obtained from the building department. It was very simple back then. This was the entire conversion of the garage, a hand sketch on one piece of paper. I don't know if I want to submit this, but I guess I could do that. And so the most practical place for this bedroom would be directly over the garage to keep in line with the 5.9-foot side yard with the wall below for a couple of reasons. It's aesthetics. If you set it in, it looks awkward. Structurally, it's easy to do. It's not in the middle of a room below, and it gives more size to the space, which he really needs. The house is on a dead-end street. There's 2 more houses after that. This is on the far side of that. As far as the 4th level goes, it was explained in the memo. And a split level, it could be confusing, so I just number the levels 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a 4th floor by any means. It's just the fourth level, which is right above the level 2. So we feel this application doesn't adversely affect the town and or the neighborhood, so we're asking the board to approve our application. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I only have one question, just for the record. Do you have the total height of this,
The height is,
what it will be?
I think I have that somewhere.
I don't have any paperwork.
John, it's in the memo. It's 23.
All right, I have,
About 23 feet.
I'm sorry?
23 feet.
Okay, I thought you said 43. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
You have the original affidavit opposed then?
I brought that to Sue yesterday, actually. We have a backup.
Pass the email, very nice.
Yeah, would you like another original? We have it with us, so.
Yes.
Okay.
It's on my momentum here, you know?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve application 23-031.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you think? This. Next application is application 23034 of Caitlin Discofani, property located in Lindenhurst.
Hi.
Hey, name and address for the record, please.
Sure, it's Caitlin Disclafani, 270 Granada Parkway in Lindenhurst, 11757.
Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated April 6, 2023, environmental control memo dated April 12, 2023. There are a number of conditions that they're asking for. Did you get a copy of that? Should be...
Yeah, well, I have the notice, yeah.
Survey by William Hogan dated January 31st, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 2 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure, we'd like to add an extension to our house that would consist of a bedroom, thank you, a bedroom and an ADA accessible bathroom, as well as adding a wheelchair lift for my daughter that has cerebral palsy.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigny.
Good evening.
Hi.
On the memo, did you happen to notice one of the conditions from the planning department? Would you agree not to further enclose the front porch?
We don't have a front porch. It's
The
just a-
portico on the rear addition, also you have a little porch, nothing to be enclosed.
We're not enclosing anything,
Okay.
no.
So we're going to make that a condition if we approve this.
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, just for housekeeping purpose, variance requested number 2, diminished front yard setback from 30 feet to 25.9 feet on McKinley Avenue is already an existing condition.
Second.
I have no further questions. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I approve application number 23.
Any other questions from the board?
See DEC comments.
Oh, okay. You have the Department of Environmental Conservation memo?
Oh.
Second page.
Sure.
Just has some conditions on there or things that you need to be aware of.
Okay.
Did
Right.
you have a copy? Did you want mine?
You have a copy?
Yeah, that's then that's fine.
1 through 4.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Yeah, I'm good. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve application 23-034 with the condition that the porch not be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Are you serious? I can't even look at you right now.
Hello? Do you have your affidavit of posting with you by any chance? Okay. Next application is application 23027 of Natal Cardino, property located in Copeg.
Hello?
Name and address for the record, please.
Natal Cardino, 14 Seaway Drive, Copeg, New York.
Okay, I do affirm to tell the truth.
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated September 7, 2023. A approval dated, well, the case number is 12295, approved as amended. There is another approval from an application 20076, approved based on the plan submitted. Environmental control memo dated April 11, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Suffolk County Planning memo dated April 7, 2023. It's a decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. Survey by Michael K. Wicks dated May 18, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 20 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes. My house got damaged in Sandy, and then I started repairing. I had all kinds of permits and everything, and in 2012 and 13, I was working on it. And then I had a business that went into bankruptcy, and I moved out of the house. It wasn't finished. I wasn't able to finish it till 2019. At that point, I put a pool in. I had my masonry guy came in. We put the patio in. I put on a little angle to it. The shed got moved over when we dug the pool out. I had so much dirt in the backyard. It was a built-in pool. The shed got moved over a little bit, and it's the same shed that was on the original one, even though the original says 10 by 10. It was always 10 by 12, and all I did was take the outside off and redo the outside. I never moved it back into place. I didn't really think about it at the time. And I also put some drainage around the house, and I have some photos that I submitted of the shed. And if you can see some of my neighbors' sheds that are adjoining me, they're a little bit close to the fence too. Not that I'm saying that that's why anything was done like that, but. So in 2019, I got back on track. I had submitted my fires underwriter, the pool permit, all of that. And then they came for the final. Everything was approved except for the shed and the amount of property that was covered with the patio. And I'm here to seek relief for that.
Okay. I will turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Well, I'm happy to hear about your success story. It's a beautiful property. So everything is the same as it was years ago with the shed? Nothing's moved? It's still 5 feet and 6.3?
Yes.
If you were to ever take it down or rebuild it, would you agree to put it in a conforming location?
Yes.
And would you agree to not further enclose the, I guess, roofed over gazebo?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 23-027
Second.
with the condition that if the shed ever be taken down and rebuilt, to be put in a conforming location and the roof over masonry area not be further enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's a race.
Absolutely.
Fast forward tonight.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. I have the original.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, thank you, board members.
Take it easy.
Next application is application 23028 of CMA Construction Management, property located in West Babylon. Just had to know it was yours.
Just had to.
She knew. She knew it was ours.
I wish it wasn't. A lot.
Name and address for the record.
Yes, John Armentano. I'm an attorney with Farrell Fritz, 100 Motor Parkway, Hopog, New York.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated April 6, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated April 11, 2023. There are some conditions on here and things you need to be aware of. You should have a copy of that, right?
Yes, I do.
A survey by CMA
Yes.
dated, or last dated, 11/7/22. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 photographs.
just also for the record, you handed up a whole booklet of various
These are exhibits.
information
Yes.
related to the application. Number 3. All right, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, we're here tonight to seek several variances for a unique piece of property on the it's 93 Chetlingham Road in West Babylon. It is located at it's a corner lot surrounded by Hubbard's, Columbus, and Chetlam. The applicant seeks several area variances for the construction of a new home. The history of this property is, it is a smaller lot predominantly because of certain dedications of roadway. And in the booklet, I can take you through it. It's helpful to visualize it. I'm sure you've been to the property. The first exhibit gives you the location of the subject property. The area of the lot is 5,021 square feet, but in keeping with the town code, section 213-230.1, there are certain credits that are granted for dedications that have occurred. And in this case, dedications had previously occurred along Hubbard's and Columbus Avenue, which would have give us the credit of 5 feet along each frontage, which if you advance those credits or that square footage, 5 feet by 90 feet along Hubbard, which is the actually Columbus is the north side, gives you 210 additional square feet. And if you take the extension of the 5 feet along the Hubbard's dimension, it's 90 feet to 450 square feet, which actually advances the lot area based on the credit system in the code to 5,681. So we're a little bit higher than what the call and the planning board memo. I also note that the planning board memo references a dedication along Chetlam Avenue, which would also give us that credit. So the issue, again, to see where the property is located, it's a triangular shaped piece. Exhibit 2 shows you the aerials, which I'm sure you're familiar with. The second exhibit to that gives you a better visual. Exhibit 3 is a street view of the subject property with the postings. Exhibit 4 is the survey of the subject property showing the areas of dedication along Hubbard's and Columbus Avenue. Exhibit 5 has a side-by-side so you can locate and see what the proposed, it's a modest home. The homeowner who hopes to live here is in the audience, so we are working towards getting her a new home in the community. The setbacks or the variances that are requested are for lot width and for front yard setbacks, which are unique in that we have a triangular shaped piece, so we have 3 front yards. Exhibit 6 is an architectural rendering of the proposed structure as it will be constructed, so you have a concept of what the property will look like when developed. Exhibit 7 is just a visual of the other houses in the immediate community. They're all on similarly sized lots and in a similar location. Exhibit 8, I think, is helpful in that it shows you the location of the subject property as well as other similarly sized lots in the community, because the issue here is obviously lot size as well as variances for side yard setbacks. So there are 7 lots in the immediate vicinity that have sizes like this and setbacks like this. And what we've had prepared, and we have the visuals up here, and Ed Licalzi is here to explain anything technical that you may have. But in terms of looking at, why are these setbacks so slight, I think Exhibit 9 is illustrative. And if you look at Exhibit 9, what we've done is plotted those other surrounding immediate subject properties, noting their setbacks in particular, and it also notates, which we've highlighted, all the dedications that have occurred here, which is why the setbacks are considered substantial, but in reality are not as substantial as one might think when you consider the dedications with the road widenings. All of these lots in the community were kind of scrunched in because of the dedications. So if you look at 91, you'll see the setbacks, which is directly south of the subject property. I think is a good example of what we're requesting tonight. The setback from the front yard of Cheltenham is 21 feet, and the rear yard from Hubbard's is 17.5 feet. And if you continue, I'll take it more in like a clockwise manner. Again, if you look, and again, the lot area in particular for 91 is only 4,900 square feet. So this area has a significant amount of undersized lots based on the zoning. This is an area of the town that has this size lot, and we are not beyond what this lot is. It's in the character of the community. Again, if you go further down Cheltenham, 89 Cheltenham, its lot area is 5,032 square feet. 111 Hubbard's Path, again, has significant setback grants. If you look at the north side of that one, it has a lot area of 5,339 square feet. The setback, the rear setback of that house, because of the location of the road, is 1.5 feet. So this is the character of the community. Again, you can see the additional setbacks of 89 Hubbard's, 85 Hubbard's, and in particular, I think 20 Colonial Drive also is it's an oddly shaped lot. Again, it has setbacks in the order of 10 feet along Hubbard's, 18.5 along Colonial. So the setback issue, while it may sound numerically significant, is not significant when you consider the character of the community. We've also, as Exhibit 10, we've gone and we have the surveys of, again, they're noted, 91 Chetland. It shows the location of the subject property. We've highlighted the dedications. I think the documents do speak for themselves. In particular, you'll also see 111 Hubbard's. That is the one with the tightest setback along Hubbard, which is 1.5 feet. And as this board is aware, it has previously granted area variances such as these in the community. In particular, Exhibit 11, there was a grant by this board in 2008. It was case number 8-149A. It was for C.A. Bass for a property located at the southwest corner of Peconic Avenue and Lafayette. And those variances that were granted were for, among other things, area variances for the lot area. And in particular, as we know, the zoning requirement here is 7,500 square feet. This was a subdivision that granted a existing lot to be at 5,261 square feet with significant setbacks as well. The variances from 30 feet were to 26. The setback on Lafayette was 21 that was approved, and the rear yard setback was for 9 feet, 9.7 feet. So I think in addition, the lot that was subdivided off was also granted a variance from the lot area of 7,500 square feet to 5,261 square feet with additional side yard and front yard setbacks of 21, et cetera. So there is, and further to that point, Exhibit 12, we have compiled additional variances that were granted by this board over the years. In 1981, a grant for case number 3135 granted a lot area of 6,000 square feet with additional side yard setbacks that are consistent with the community and in this area. And I'm sure you can read these at your leisure, but what we also did was Exhibit 13, we did compile an illustration of a tax map of the community, which shows the size of what we would consider under the current code to be undersized lots. The subject property is located in, or is colored in blue, and what we've done is the pink and the orange are showing 4,000 square foot lots, 40-foot front yards widths. And I think if you look at the totality of the area, this is in keeping with that, which takes us to the area test for area variances. And although these are, if it can be considered, and we've looked at the town board or the staff report as to the significance of the variances, if you consider the community setting, we definitely fit within that parameter. This is a lot that has no other purpose. There's no other feasible way to build it. What we've done is made a modest-sized house on the property, trying to keep in the character of the community, getting as close to the setbacks as we can. Obviously, it's a very unique lot in that it is a corner lot. There are other corner lots in the area that have homes, so this is not out of character with the community. Again, there are no environmental impacts. This house will have a garage. The issues here are just an addition of a home on a lot that is really has no other purpose. There is no other purpose of this lot. If you consider the variance for these area variances, it's not as significant as it may be in particular, and because of the prior dedications that occurred, the dedications shrunk the lot, so we're looking to at least maximize the use of the lot to the extent that we can with a modest home on the subject property. If you have any questions on a technical point, I can go over in more detail anything I've discussed.
Okay. I will turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
It is a very unique parcel. It's a very unique lot. To me, it's rather small, but you are utilizing the space. The proposed structure, will that be in line with the other properties on that parcel?
Yes, I think if we can speak to the architectural, Ed can maybe answer. If you want to come to the podium for a record. Yeah. Good evening, members of the board. To answer your question,
Name and address for the record.
I'm sorry, Ed LaCalze, 2100 Joshua's Path, Hop
Do you
Hog,
affirm to tell the truth?
New York. Sorry? Yes, I do. Thank you. So, yes, ma'am. To answer your question, in some regards, it was sort of painstaking, obviously, to try to get them to align the two neighboring houses on Cheltenham, I think you're referring to. So in that respect, no, we're slightly further or closer
To the
the front, to the street line, yes. However, I would want the board to understand also that based on the design of the house, we have, in a sense, the ability to change the configuration of it. What we proposed is based on a home that could be utilized by a young family today, affordable for a young family today, in which we have obviously someone here this evening who's very much interested in purchasing the property to start their family, who's actually lived in the town of Babylon their entire life. The lot is obviously a smaller lot, but as John has mentioned, as you can see by the tax map that we've provided with the color indications on it for clarity purposes only, you can see that there's a significant amount of these types of properties, within a few hundred feet, of our parcel. As you can see also that there's a significant amount of even smaller lots that are also either developed or non-developed, existing within a few hundred feet of the subject lot that's before you tonight. The design of the house was considered to be a modest home that would face Cheltenham Road. It seemed that was best suited for that, although the other homes that are in the area could obviously front, or this home could front Hubbard's, but it seems more of a main road.
Yeah.
So therefore, the decision was to consider it to be facing Cheltenham. Those were the determining factors that led us to the size of the house and how it's located on the site. We did try to minimize any impact, along the three fronts as best we could. And I think at the end, which I can walk you through the floor plan if you're interested, any of the members are interested, you can see it is a modest house. It is a split level of a design that's very widely used in the town of Babylon. A lot of neighborhoods have a very, very similar style, and that was another reason why we selected the layout for this lot. Would you like me to run through the floor plan with you at all?
That's okay. Wait, I do want to know, so do you guys plan on having a basement included?
The plan is to have a basement, yes.
Okay.
It would be a cellar technically, right? So cellar,
Yeah.
yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Setback off of Columbus Avenue, I see that you have a vinyl fence that you're going to continue. How far is that vinyl fence set back off Columbus Avenue? I really can't read it on this plan.
1 second. AJ, you want to just provide that information?
And how high is the fence? Is it a 6-foot fence?
So the plan would be for a 4-foot fence, not a 6-foot fence. If it was so desired by the board, we can accommodate a 6-foot fence.
No.
The fence would obviously encumber the property line. So along Columbus, we would be proposing the fence to be 5 feet back into the lot, 5 feet from the property line, and it would run along the property line along Hubbard's Path.
Okay, and it's you're recommending a 4-foot fence?
4-foot fence, yes.
Okay, could that be set back a little? Because that corner coming out of Columbus and Hubbard's and Cheltenham, it's a narrow corner, and there is considerable traffic coming south on Hubbard's that just cuts across Columbus, goes right down Cheltenham, and the same way with Hubbard's when you make a left-hand turn onto Columbus. So there's a lot of interaction with traffic on that corner. So visibility is a concern.
Line of sight would obviously, we would be concerned about as well, if the board felt that a fence is not appropriate, along that edge there, or would rather us pull that back a little bit further, we'd be more than happy to do so. Because I would agree with you. There's no question, it's an active corner.
Oh, that was good. That was a concern.
Is the fence going to be 4 feet all the way around?
Yes, it would be sort of typical for single-family residents to have an enclosed fence, that's the thinking.
Yep.
But any thought of, as the other member has just mentioned, line of sight with respect to vehicular traffic, we'd be more than happy to pull it back further. And maybe even softening with some lower landscaping there to dress up the corner. Because it would seem that some of the other corners that have a very same type of layout is really just gravel, and it just seems people sort of run over it a little bit, and so, absolutely.
Yeah, my main concern was that is an active area there, and you were either going to compromise the structure or you were going to compromise the yard size. So it looks like you guys are going more for cutting back on the yard.
Well, as I mentioned, and because we have, in a sense, a white canvas here to paint what we want, well, what everybody would maybe agree upon, of course, and, we could modify these setbacks somewhat. To be honest with you, any thoughts, concerning safety and welfare of the public is obviously our concern as well. Because these setbacks are not as extreme as other properties, within the area, we're designing the house. It could accommodate another foot or two here or there. So we're open-minded.
Okay. Is he still going to need a test board for the basement? Okay. You're going to need a test board. You guys are aware of that? Yes. Okay. All right. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
Did you read the planning memo with the covenants and restrictions and the conditions?
Yes.
You did, and you agreed to all?
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. If approved. No further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Come on. Sure.
Hello?
Need your name and address?
Sure. I'm Rob Rotuno, 91 Cheltenham Road.
I'm Christina Rotuno, 91 Cheltenham Road.
Do you both
Right
affirm to
next
tell the truth?
Yes.
What?
Do you
Tell
both
the truth.
affirm to tell the
Yes, ma'am.
truth?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
I just want to make a statement. We are here for everyone's best intentions, and, we're not trying to shoot down any ideas or anything. We just have concerns. We are excited to get new neighbors, so, of course, welcome. And I think the board had some great questions and concerns, and a lot of those were our concerns. So I almost thought I didn't have to come up here. It is a busy corner, and, we are happy you were questioning the fence, because the line of sight is a concern, not only for us, but, for the new neighbors as well. And we had just two other minor concerns. How big is the driveway going to be? Is it one car, two cars?
It's one car.
One
It would
car?
be-
Car and a
It would just be one car.
Okay.
We're only concerned, just because Cheltenham Road is a narrow street, and we didn't want too many cars parked on the street, because you can really only park on one side of the street.
Yep.
And, we all have nice driveways, and we try to park on the driveway, but if we do have to park in the street, if the garbage truck comes down the street, the UPS truck, I'm watching, I'm getting a little nervous, it just is narrow. So, we wouldn't, it's not a street where you could park on both sides
yep.
and have a truck go through. So, that was a concern. And then just on the part of the property that borders our house, there are some nice trees, so we didn't know if some of those trees could stay.
Right, would you be taking, we didn't know if they would be taking all the trees down.
Right,
Or
some.
leaving some up, just for a little privacy for them and for us, in between.
buffer?
That's all.
I think our
We'll
fence
ask them
is
on
6
that.
feet.
You got to address us.
Yeah, you got to address us, but
We'll ask them.
we'll ask them about the trees.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay?
All right, that was really
Okay,
it.
yes, and thank you.
Yes,
Good,
thank you very
thank you.
much.
Thanks for coming down.
Okay, thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application?
Hello, my name is Katina Isaac. I'm the owner of 89 Hubbard's Path, which is right on the block. So my concern was really just, like they said too, with the traffic. It's a very busy road, and I'm directly across, I can see Cheatham and Columbus directly across, and coming through that block, they'll miss the stop sign. It's like speed central down there. So a visual would be great. I mean, I love that you guys are building a house there. I just moved there. It's only been a year. I love the area and the neighborhood, but I just want to, if we can just slow down the traffic and be able to see what's going on. That's really my only issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it did. I guess we
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application?
Hubbard's Path there.
I need to get to work.
For the record, there are none. So just talk to us about the trees.
Yes, by the way, I'm sorry, I misspoke about the driveway. It's actually a two-width driveway, two-car width driveway. It was another application the other night, I'm sorry, in my head. As far as the trees go, anything of any mature size and caliber, we will definitely keep, as long as it's not within the footprint of the proposed dwelling. So any tree protection we can, we'll identify through the construction documents with the plans examiner. And there will be a landscape plan that we'll provide anyway. So screening is obviously going to be important to us, probably along Hubbard's Path. But otherwise, any additional screening that you think might be necessary, and plantings to soften the corner, pardon me, at the entrance of, I'm sorry, at the intersection of both the three converging streets, we'd be more than happy to accommodate.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve the decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. Thanks for everybody that came down. We'll take everything into consideration.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you do. You know we need a test boring, right?
Yes, that's in the
In
conditions.
the conditions.
Yep,
Okay.
That's part of the planning board approval.
Okay. Building department. Yes. Thank you. So the bottom line is
Let's go. Let's go. Put up here. Hey, get dinner plans.
Where am I? Oh, I gotta
Ready?
start here.
Okay, application number.
John, tell him we got dinner plans.
Hey, does he know he's on our time? You're on our time. Next application is application 23029 of, what is it? Oh, Pooch Pad, Camp Bow Wow.
Camp Bow Wow.
Okay, before I begin, okay, I just want to make a statement here. The attorney is a former member of this board. If any member feels they are unable to be unbiased in the matter, please let them recuse themselves at this point. Nobody's going to recuse, okay. Name and address for the record.
Sure. For the applicant, Camp Bow Wow, John Farrell with the firm of Son, Ward, Braff, and Koblenz. Our offices are at 1300 Veterans Memorial Highway, Suite 100, Hauppauge, New York.
Okay. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated April 7th, 2023, Environmental Control memo dated April 11th, 2023. If we were to approve this, it needs a negative declaration. A Fire Marshal's report dated April 13th, 2023. And they are asking, did you get a copy of this?
The fire marshal? No, I didn't get that.
Okay, so we'll give it to you. The office shall require a full set of construction documents for purposes of reviewing and comments. Okay.
Pick up the packet beforehand.
Suffolk County Planning memo dated April 3rd, 2023, decision of local determination, take no position for or against. survey by Jack Allison Hall dated May 8, 2014, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, we have 7 photographs.
That's construction plans.
Oh, yeah. What's this? Not for construction. I guess this is a site, kind of a site plan dated 12/12/22. Okay. Yeah. What would you like to tell us about the application?
So this is my first presentation before this board in a very long time. I think it's like 18 years. So I'm a little nervous. I hope I can wow you with this presentation. I will try and keep it brief, as it seems the audience is a little light. The subject property is located on the east side of Wellwood Avenue. It's approximately 145 feet south of Farmers Avenue. It's right up the block, right on Spiegelhagen. I'm sure all the board members are familiar with it. It's a large shopping center with multiple buildings. The unit in question is a small 7,800 square foot space that used to be a fitness facility, a Fitness 19, I think. It's located on the northerly end of the parcel. This building also has a Rainbow Shop and a Dollar General. My client's looking to convert the gym into a pet daycare, boarding, and grooming facility. The property is zoned e-business, which requires a special permit from this board. I believe the board is familiar with this concept. There have been several applications over the years that the board has approved. There's, I believe, 2 in Deer Park. There's definitely one in West Babylon. The pets are typically dropped off by their owners in the morning for daycare. They're checked in and placed in a play area. They get to play with dogs of similar size, similar temperament. And then at the end of the day, the owners pick them up and take them home, and they're exhausted. And it's great because I have 2 dogs, and when I bring them home from doggy daycare, they sleep all night long and they don't bother me. It's wonderful. This particular use has each dog can go into a separate cabin for a few hours for rest during the course of a day. They get about an hour and a half to 3 hours of rest, depending on their individual needs. There are 136 separate rooms for the dogs to rest in, so they can have up to 136 dogs at any given time. Pets are required to be up to date on all of their vaccinations, rabies, distemper, and bordetella. If they're not up to date on these vaccinations, they can't enter the facility. The dogs are also screened before their first visit, before their first stay. They have to get a temperament screening, so they have to make sure that they are not aggressive towards people or other dogs. All dogs must be spayed and neutered by the time they reach 7 months of age. Otherwise, accidents can happen. Dog-safe chemicals are used to clean the facility. If there's an accident inside, they clean it, they mop it up, clean it up, whatever they have to do. Most of the dogs are brought out periodically during the day. There is an outdoor play area, which you can see on the plans. It's not a play area, it's an outdoor relief area, really. They bring them out periodically throughout the day to do their business, then they bring them back inside for play. The dogs are inside the vast majority of the day. All employees of the facility are required to be trained in pet first aid and CPR. A little weird, but they can do CPR on pets. They have to be certified within 60 days of hire. So really, this is a safe and clean facility, and I think it's a good complement to the surrounding community. If the board has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Good. Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
Good evening, Mr. Farrell.
Good evening, Mr. Rigney.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right, a few questions, John.
Yes.
In regards to little housekeeping here, I just want to make an amendment to variance 1. It should read with outdoor relief, so the total variance should read special exemption for permit for proposed dog kennel with outdoor play area with outdoor relief.
It's the relief area.
Right, it's an outdoor relief area. It's too small for them to play.
So special exception permit for proposed dog kennel with outdoor relief area.
Second.
All in favor?
How many employees at this location, John?
I believe it's 6 at most.
And the hours?
The hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday is 8 a.m. to 11, and then there's a break until 4 o'clock. So it's the same thing on holidays. There's only one employee usually that'll come in and, take care of the dogs and stuff, and then there'll be a time where there's nobody there, but that's not unusual for a kennel or a boarding facility. Most of the daycare clients are there Monday through Friday, and they don't usually bring them on the weekends, so. And then they're back from 4 to 7.
And just, is there a schedule for the disposal of the waste for the dogs and where that's going to be?
Right, so there's a waste disposal area in the outdoor relief area. That will be cleaned out twice a day, more if necessary. Typically, it's twice a day. I mean, more than twice would mean they would have a full house, and they don't expect to ever really get to that capacity, but they do have the ability to do that.
And according to the plans, that outdoor relief area looks more to the south, if that's what you want to call, from the apartments that are in the back.
Correct.
So we're not close, right? It's more up front and to the...
Correct, yes. And again, they're not outside for prolonged periods of time, so it's not like there's going to be a lot of barking outside. I mean, it'll happen during the day, but it's not going to be a persistent issue. And they are, I forgot to mention earlier, they will be using on the inside of the building, on the walls, the outside walls, they're going to put soundproof sheetrock around the inside so that if the dogs are barking in the play area, it'll be absorbed by that, and the neighbors won't hear it on the outside of the building.
And lastly, John, just the fire marshal report, they had 2 concerns. Do they plan on making any alterations with the sprinkler system that's existing?
I don't believe they do. It was a full public assembly use, so I imagine it has a full fire suppression system. So I don't think any changes are going to be necessary for it. If there are, we'll obviously file whatever needs to be filed with the fire marshal.
I think they're just looking for a set of plans, I guess what the interior is going to look like. So
Yeah,
when we submit them to the fire
So we did submit interior floor plans. The full construction drawings, we would release the architect to do if this board approves the application, because it's a substantial cost. So we want to make sure that we have our discretionary approvals in place before we release the architect to do a full set of construction drawings.
I think the site has plenty of parking. Like I said, there's not going to be people hanging around. It's pretty much drop and go, so parking's not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, the place that I go to in West Babylon has like 2 parking spaces, and and it's right next to Jessen's Deli, and they never have an issue finding
exactly
parking.
Yes, yes.
K-9.
Yes, K-9 Clubhouse.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I got no further questions.
Okay, just a quick one on the outdoor, John. Is that going to be grass, or is it going to be paved?
It's going to be turf.
Turf?
Yes. Yeah, they're going to turf it, and so it'll be good, safe for the dog's paws, and it's easier to clean up.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We good? Okay, let's go.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 23-029 as amended with a negative declaration.
Second.
All in favor?
1 year?
I would ask for a 3-year period if I could get it, only because this is a new
Finances?
franchise business, and it's going to take a few months to build it out and get it up and running. These businesses are
This is
need
a
time.
franchise?
It's a franchise, yes.
Okay. This is not a one,
It's not a one-off, no, it's not. It's
Because
a
it's a
franchise. There's
franchise.
another location in Hicksville, I believe, which you can Google.
Okay.
I'll make an exception, do that to franchise, that we approve this application for a period of 3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Second.
All good?
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Have a
Mr.
great
Farrell. Good
evening.
seeing
It's
you.
good seeing everybody.
You too.
Take care, John.
Who's that guy?
Okay, that concludes the scheduled portion of the public hearing and ends the live broadcast. The meeting remains open while the board continues